Live from the County Seat Sports Grill in downtown Lillington, this is Camel Call Live. Tonight, it's a wrestling takeover as we welcome in Campbell Wrestling Head Coach Scotti Sentes, Campbell greats, now turned coaches, Noah Gonser and Chris Kober, plus current Camel Gabe Hixenbaugh will be our guest. He is, to start things off, in his third year as Campbell's head wrestling coach and assistant for 4 seasons, previously helping to guide Campbell to their 4th straight SoCon Tournament Championship last year. His team consistently ranked now in the top 25 in the country as Campbell has sent at least 6 qualifiers to the NCAA championships in each of the last 4 seasons. Finally, we get the first home match of the season. It is this Sunday at 4 p.m. in Gore Arena against Virginia out of the ACC. He is Scotti Sentes, and he is joining me now. And Coach, you have already been getting after it for over a month now, nearly a month and a half. So give us a little bit on your team, what you've seen so far as you guys have played such a tough schedule.
Yeah, we got a mix between the old and young, so we see a lot of leadership emerging. It's been really exciting to see some of these top teams. I think in the first 3 weeks we saw number 5 Michigan, number 16 North Carolina, and this past weekend we saw number 1 Penn State. So for us it's important to be battle-tested, especially with these young guys in the lineup, and so we're really excited as season progresses.
Since you have been here, obviously the recruiting has reached new levels each and every year, and that means that you have a lot of depth pretty much at each and every weight class. Talk a little bit about not only the guys you throw out there in the starting lineup, but the guys that you put out each and every day. The depth is just incredible.
Yeah, it's really important to have that depth. You know, you have 10 weight classes, and you got to start somebody. And in collegiate athletics, especially wrestling, at any moment, it might be somebody else's turn to shine, right? Guys get injured, guys get sick, and you can't give up 6 points, right? A 6-point swing if you don't have somebody there wrestling. So it's really important that we're building our base up from top to bottom, and the goal is to keep bringing the bottom higher and the top even higher. So everything's got to be moving in one direction. What
kind of atmosphere does that make in your room in practices when you have depth and guys that can go 2-3 deep in every weight class?
I mean, it's got to be competitive. You got to show up every time and represent Campbell University and fire up your teammates, because if not, somebody else is chopping at the bit to have that job.
A lot of people would think, that there are some teams where you have the first stringers and the second stringers, and there's a little bit of jealousy or what have you. How do you kind of keep the egos in check? How do you keep the team concept going when there's so much competition?
Yeah, I mean, you leave it on the mat, right? I mean, we're in there. They're going to compete. That's what we are. We're there to compete. We're there to be the best we can possibly be. And to have that guy chomping at the bit, I think it only strengthens the room and strengthens you. And at the end of the day, it's not just about being the starter at Campbell University. It's about winning national titles and get on that stand at the NCAA tournament.
One of the things that has been another hallmark of your coaching tenure here at Campbell is putting together a tough schedule. The top half of the SoCon is tough enough, but you really get after it. You started this season with a couple of good teams at number 14, Iowa State. And then I want to talk about, which is just an incredible event that is still being talked about and still resonating around the college wrestling world, is the Battle at Bragg. This was something that you brought into fruition as Campbell was on the UFC Fight Pass, and they took on 2 highly ranked teams, number 5 Michigan and number 16 North Carolina, down on the base in front of a great setting. For those that maybe don't know or didn't get to see it, describe what that event was.
Man, what a stage. I mean, we got to honor our veterans on Veterans Day at the military base on Fort Bragg against 2 great teams to bring them here and host them. Number 5 Michigan and number 16 North Carolina. And we took two programs on at one time, and that was such a large stage. I mean, it was an elevated stage. You had planes and, people holding machine guns, and I mean, it was a really neat experience. And I think in order to prepare for the NCAA tournament, we got to see those types of events and feel some of that pressure and be part of the big show. And in wrestling, you don't get a lot of rain delays, but we got one. So that was a really neat experience.
What did you do to start that? How do you go after the UFC that was really the linchpin of that event?
Yeah, I mean, I just do a lot of talking and bumping into people, and this conversation's been happening since March at the NCAAs. I think UFC Fight Pass sees an opportunity to break into wrestling. A lot of their best fighters right now, Bo Nickel being one of them, are guys that had a lot of success at the NCAA tournament in wrestling. And so they see us as a sport that they can merge with. And Campbell's a school, we're not afraid to try new things. So we went out and took a risk on them. They took a risk on us, and we made this really great event in Battle at Bragg. And it's something I think they're going to continue doing. And it's only going to help our sport, and I think it can help them. So I think it's a great relationship to have.
You have built this program not only to state recognition, region recognition, time zone recognition. They know Campbell Wrestling from coast to coast now, what you have done. We talked about bringing 6 at the very least to NCAAs each and every year, and these guys going on to become All-Americans and placing and what have you. What did this to a somewhat new group of fans, what did this do? How has this resonated from what you have seen people getting to know Campbell Wrestling?
Yeah, I think we just got to keep putting our guys on bigger and better stages. I think that's going to prepare them for the NCAA tournament. And for us, we're tired of being that top 25 program. That's our claim to fame. Hey, top 25, top 20. We're trying to put guys on the stand to become All-Americans and national champs, and the only way to do that is by wrestling the best and putting ourselves in tough situations. And being on a stage against some of the best guys in the country is a tough situation. And, we would like to bring 7 guys to the national tournament that are ready to win the national tournament. So I think putting them on a stage like that is really important to the next step of progressing as a team.
Coach, it's one of the reasons why you think about and can put together things like this of what you just said. I think back to when you got here in 2017. If you think back to then, you think that you would be talking to me right now saying, you know what, we're tired of being a top 25, top 20 team. We want more. What would this Coach Sentes say to that Coach Sentes?
I'd say that guy's a madman. What are you talking about? Right? Yeah, no, I mean, it's always been the goal. You never know how quick you can get there. But each and every year, I think you try to just tackle more, right? Bite off more, never say no. And I think this season we really got a great opportunity to tackle a lot. I mean, there's a lot to chew on this year, and it's a really difficult schedule. And I think, like I said, a difficult schedule is going to make guys that can handle difficult situations, which you need to do in our sport.
Take me back to 2017. I imagine when Coach Kerry Collette calls, you pick up the phone, or he's somebody when a job opens up under him, you get to. But take me back to then. What drew you to him? What drew you to Campbell University? It was not what it was wrestling-wise then.
Yeah, no. So I was an assistant coach, and my boss had just taken the executive director position for Beat the Streets. So looking for a job. You're an assistant coach. Your head coach left. You're looking for a job. Kerry reached out. I looked into Campbell. I didn't realize Campbell was even Division I. I looked at their record. They were something like 4-17. It was a really bad record.
Yeah, no, that might have been a little too many wins at that time.
Yeah. So I knew who Kerry Collette was, so I said, okay, I need to at least listen to him. And there was a big documentary that had just came out, and he's a big name in our sport. So I said, hey, I'll give it a gander. Came and checked it out, and he sort of gave me his plan and his vision, and I felt like I could really add to that and help him reach those goals. And so we kind of rolled the dice. And luckily enough, my first year, we went from, like I said, 4-17 to winning the SoCon championship. So a lot of that faith paid off, and it's always been about how do we get this to the next level, right? We don't want to plateau.
You can recruit, you get into the door because people in the wrestling world know who you are. Recruits know who you are. You don't have to explain that you're Division I anymore. Back then, how did you start recruiting and building this program?
Yeah, a lot of it, initially was, selling Kerry Collette a little bit, right? And then after we won that SoCon tournament, we did that with a lot of guys who weren't very big names. And so over time, it went from selling this big name to selling how we can develop you. We're a developmental school. We don't do a lot of transfers. We really like to bring guys in here who want to work, who are gritty, who are tough, and we build them up, right? We put them in tough situations in the room. We put them on tough situations on the mat. And we have guys from Alaska beating these guys who are top prospects, kids that nobody heard of. And now recruits look at it and say, well, if you do this with this kid from Alabama, what's you going to do with me, right?
And you take on Virginia this Saturday. Again, another big opponent that you're actually bringing to the Creek. It'll be at Gore Arena this Sunday at 4 p.m., your first home duel of the year. Tell me what you know about the Cavaliers.
I mean, they're a tough team. You know, last year was the first year we've ever beat them in history of Campbell wrestling. And I think they're chomping at the bit to get a little back at us, right? I don't think they enjoyed losing to us or falling short. And they're a tough team. They get a lot of really great recruits. They always have one of the top recruiting classes in the country. It's a big school. And so I know they're going to come in hungry, and our team's got to show up. We got to be ready to scrap.
When you talk about that match that's going to be on ESPN Plus, another step for this program that you have added this year, tickets being sold for this event. And not only this event, you guys came out and sold season tickets, but you sold special season mat tickets, and those went away in about a couple of weeks. So tell us about what we're going to see when we come and kind of see the new setting there.
Yeah, I think, we found a way to really get the fans right on the mat, and I think that's something that people really wanted. They want to be close to the action. They want to hear the grunts. They want to, see maybe some of the cheap shots that are given both ways in those wrestling matches, and that was a way to do it. Put those guys mat side and let them watch a good scrap. So you're going to see a lot of, our guys understand that people are paying money to come there and see them, and so I think you're going to expect a team full of guys ready to represent and say, hey, you're getting your money's worth.
We were talking about it a little bit as you came up here at the county seat, talking about that there are Campbell wrestling fans all over the state, all over the region, all over the nation, and all over the world. You have done an unbelievable job in many things here, but the fact that you have not only reconnected with alumni, but made them a part of what has made Campbell wrestling now what it is. Take me back to when you started that. Well, what did you do to get so many of these alums involved again?
Yeah, so a lot of that is part of the process. My first year here, honestly, I got to give a lot of credit towards Garrett Kiley. He was another assistant, and when he first came here, he started the kickoff dinner of Orange and Black. And what we did is we didn't ask for anything. We just sent a shirt out with the names of all the alumni. It formed a camel, and they understood how important they were to us, and we started drawing them in. And when you really start talking to these alumni, I mean, it's a brotherhood. I mean, you hear that word all the time around Campbell Athletics. These guys are in touch. They're close. They're starting to see the success that we had and we're starting to have, and they want to help us get to where we wanted to be a lot quicker. And so when you have alumni that really want to help and know what you want to do, it becomes a lot easier as a coach to kind of steer them where they can help us. And they're an alumni group that want to help, and that's a sign of a healthy program.
How special is it to have those guys around? I mean, whether you guys are having our black and orange or bringing in a top 20 ACC team, they're always there.
Yeah, I mean, they get pumped. I mean, they love the wrestling. It's extremely important, and they have a great relationship with our guys. That kickoff dinner is our athletes are mixing with them, and so our athletes are really close with them. When they graduate, they have people they can call that can steer them and line them up with jobs, and I think that's really important.
He is our head wrestling coach, Scotti Sentes. When we come back after the break, Coach will stick around and we'll talk to a couple of Campbell greats turned coaches now, Noah Gonser and Chris Kober. That's coming up after the break. This is Camel Call Live.
Since 2019, the Fighting Camel Club has funded more than a half-dozen championship-level facility projects. This fall, your Fighting Camel Club donations will fund several new projects, including a new Gore Arena sports medicine facility. For more information, go to gocamels.com and click the Give button. Thanks for supporting the Fighting Camel Club.
Hi Campbell fans, I'm Christy Yarbrough with RE/MAX United. Thinking about buying or selling or know someone who is? Let me help you make the right moves. It's important to work with the right agent with local knowledge and cutting-edge experience. I can help ease the pains of the buying or selling process by guiding you through the steps. Whether it's connecting you with the right lender, home inspector, handyman for those undone projects, staging and prepping your home for sale, or helping you find the ideal home that fits your family's needs. Visit my website for more information at christy.remaxagent.com. Go Camels!
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time! Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go! It's bow time.
Better ingredients, better pizza, better brace yourself because Papa John's has done it again. Introducing Papa Bowls. No crust, just a whole bunch of those Papa John's toppings you love, baked to piping hot perfection. I'm talking crisp veggies, savory meats, all covered in melty cheese, and those signature sauces. Try flavors like Italian Meats Trio, Chicken Alfredo, and Garden Veggie, or get creative and build your own. Papa John's.
Step into a quality home you'll value for a lifetime, perfect for your family at every stage. Mattamy Homes focuses on what you value most, with different designs, styles, and finishes crafted to work within your budget. That's why we're ranked first in quality, value, and customer satisfaction. But we don't just build homes, we create communities with instant appeal and enduring value. See what we're building around Raleigh, places you'll be proud to call home. Visit MattamyHomes.com and see for yourself.
I'm talking to two of the best of all-time Campbell wrestlers, now turned coaches, and Noah Gonser and Chris Kober. And Noah, you were really, both of you, and I'll ask both of you about it, but you guys were both here as Campbell built from a program nobody heard of to a program that's pretty darn good in the SoCon, that's winning championships, to a program that's on a national stage. What was it like being a part of that ride?
Well, it was pretty awesome. To begin with, I originally came from Eastern Michigan University, which was already a program that was kind of on the rise. We were kind of doing everything right, and it was a shame with that program getting cut. But luckily, I found a home here. Scotti recruited me right from there. We had kind of a mutual coaching connection through the Central Michigan alumni base, and I ended up down here in Bowie's Creek, and it was probably the best thing for my coaching career, or my wrestling career in general, that ended up leading into my coaching career. But yeah, when I first came down here, you could just tell it had kind of the same energy. It was kind of that small underdog team that, was just itching to break into the, top 10 any day. Like, everybody was doing the right things, living the right ways, and it showed. We went out there, battle at the Diamond, and we wrestled Iowa State and who all was there? Iowa State, Arizona State,
Harvard.
and Harvard. And, man, I think we proved it. We were right there. We beat Iowa State that year, and they were, I think top 15 in the nation that year. And then the next match, we were wrestling at Arizona State. And
top five, I think, that year.
Yeah, and Arizona State was coming off a win against Penn State from the week before, and we were within 3 team points of them. We were right there. And, it's always easy to look back at that season of woulda, coulda, shoulda, right, what could have happened. With the NCAAs getting canceled and everything. But, man, our guys showed out at SoCons. We were tough, and I think we still are tough, and it's important that we keep a lot of those guys around because, they're the guys that people can look up to, right? People that are doing the right things and living the right lifestyles. And, the way the formula works, if you're doing the right things and you're living the right way, and you got the right coaches, and you got the right energy, and you got the right ability to go out and wrestle the best teams in the nation, it's only a matter of time before, you break into that top 5, top 10. So I think right now, the sky's the limit with these kids, man. They're in there grinding every day, and, man, I think the work ethic, it really does rival from that team back in 2019, 2020 that we were a part of. So these guys are, doing it all right, and you love to see it. It's just one of the most exciting things, and as a young coach getting out there and rolling with guys, it's like that positivity and just the fact that they're a good group of kids, man, it just motivates you. So,
Chris, what has it been like to be a part of that ride? You were part of all 4 SoCon championships.
Yeah, I want to change it for a thing, man. I was coming out of high school. I didn't have a lot of looks. Got a call from Scotti, and at the time, he's one of the best darn recruiters I've ever heard. Dude was calling me every other day in class, out of school, out of practice, and he really sold Campbell to me, and I actually committed without a visit. So I sight unseen, sold on going to Campbell, and wouldn't change a thing. We had a the one thing I think the difference between our team now and the team that I competed with is we had a bunch of guys that were overlooked, right? We had the guys that weren't big recruits out of high school, and we were wanting to prove ourselves. And now as we started getting better as a team, we were able to open up the opportunity for higher level kids coming out of high school, and the kids we're getting are still higher level kids than we had, but they're still hungry and they still want to prove themselves because they still were overlooked to a certain part, you know.
And I guess that's my next question for both of you. You now the recruiting coordinator as well as the assistant coach on the team, and you haven't been recruited by Scotti coming here to Campbell without even a look. What did Scotti sell you back then, and Gons, what are you selling people now? It might be a lot of the same things.
Scotti sold me on basically an opportunity, man. I kind of had a connections with the Kreisers when they were here through my old head coach, and then I didn't need much to be sold on. I just wanted an opportunity to prove myself, and Scotti gave me that opportunity, and he had my back from day one since I've been here. Now 6 years later, I'm on staff, being a staff member with him. So it was just the school, one, being a small school. I came from a small Catholic school and grade school, small private high school, and having the opportunity to come to a small school in North Carolina I wouldn't change it for a thing. It was just sight unseen. I wasn't really going. I didn't have to have a big school. I didn't have to have a big party school, big this, big that. I just wanted to go to wrestle and get my degree, and that's all Campbell's about, man. I mean, coming here, be good at wrestling, get good grades, graduate, and get a good job. That's all it is. That's pretty darn good. Is that what you're still selling them on, Noah?
Well, first of all, I love Campbell University just because it attracts the right kind of kid. You know, like Cobra was saying, you know, there's a lot less distractions here. It attracts a more focused person, somebody that's more goal-oriented, somebody that wants to, you know, win on the mat and win in life. So we love getting those kinds of kids in the room. And, man, the other thing we can sell is development. I mean, look what we've done with the kids that we've gotten. And, you know, you get a good kid, we can only go so much further. Like I keep saying, the sky's the limit. You get somebody tough that already knows how to wrestle. I mean, shoot, man. Once you're in here wrestling every day and living the right lifestyle, I mean, there's no telling how high you can go. So the things I guess I would sell is, you know, look, if you come to Campbell, you're going to get one-on-one attention with all the coaches. That's the best part about having young coaches on staff is that we can roll every day, and we have our group of guys that we roll with, and we train, and, I mean, we're right in the trenches with you. You're not necessarily going to get that with any other program or a bigger program. You know, we're guys that have been through it and had success at Campbell as well. So, you know, we know what it takes to get to the top, to win at the NCAA tournament and in March. And, you know, we have an opportunity that if you want to go further, like with an RTC or whatever, you know, you have that opportunity as well. So that's kind of what I sell. And then, man, once you come on campus, campus just sells itself. I mean, we are a hidden gem in North Carolina. Absolutely beautiful campus. We have top-notch facilities. And, I mean, we can rival anybody, anywhere. I like to say that, you know, you don't need the nicest stuff to, you know, you can go work out in a rocky gym and chop wood and carry water and become the best you can be with just the right head on your shoulders and a heart that wants it and faith to do it. But, man, it sure helps. It sure
and you guys have some pretty good facilities, some of the best wrestling facilities,
Definitely.
Not only in the state but in the region.
Yeah, for sure. We were up there rivaling the best, man. There's Big Ten schools that don't have as nice of facilities as us.
No doubt.
So, I mean, you really can't complain. We're spoiled, and, man, we use it to our advantage every time. You know, it's something that our guys totally utilize, and we're so thankful to have such a supportive administration behind us.
And just like a Big Ten school, you were one of three that was on UFC Fight Pass. Just incredible. Campbell University, Campbell Wrestling on UFC Fight Pass. What was that event like?
Oh, man, that was one of the coolest events I've ever been a part of ever. I mean, I qualified for nationals 3 times, and, I mean, it was right up there. The energy level was crazy. It was super exciting. It was great to see a sea of orange. That's always awesome to see. But it was up on a stage. We had floodlights, and the production value was just the best it possibly
just like
could
the
have been.
UFC always is.
It's amazing.
Right?
It was fantastic. So
It's definitely something I wish I had when I was here, man.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
we don't get a chance to perform on a big stage a lot in times I was here, but being able to get our guys on the stage competing at a high level where all the lights are on them, it was awesome for the guys. I mean, I feel like they really grew a lot from that. Wins or losses, guys got better that day.
And it was great. I also just wanted to say a big shout out and big thank you to Cliff Keene. Man, you see those singlets? We got custom camo singlets.
Unbelievable.
Custom Campbell
Unbelievable.
headgear. It was just,
Gift bags. It
gift
was
bags.
awesome.
We really made our guys feel special going out there. And, you know, it's good to go toe-to-toe with the big dogs because we can show we are the big dogs. I mean, those guys, they got to do everything that our guys have to do, right? They go out there and they got to wrestle. They got to be in the spotlight. They got to make weight that day. There's no way they're training at the same level we are. And, I mean, man, every match showed it. Every match was fireworks. So I was really happy with how our guys competed, and I think it really is going to set us up for March.
And speaking of March, that's another thing. Really, one of the only atmospheres that rivaled that is something that we've all been a part of. You guys competing, of course, but I've had the honor to cover a couple of NCAA tournaments. And I tell people, obviously, I'm a wrestling fan. Grew up in Missouri around wrestling, so I've loved the sport for a long time. But my first time there was in St. Louis about 6 years ago. And I tell everybody, if you're not a wrestling fan, if you've watched wrestling before and says it's not for you, if you're a sports fan, you need to go and put on your bucket list the NCAA tournament because especially that first day, especially those first couple hours, it's one of the most incredible things I have ever been a part of. What is it like to be competing in something like that?
Hey, first of all, I totally agree with you. If you're a sports fan, you need to be there. You need to buy your tickets now.
I tell everybody.
Out,
if you can get a ticket, you're right.
They sell
I guess I should
right
have started
away.
with that. Yep.
So, I mean, it's one of those things where, like, you know, you need to get your connection and you need to get your ticket because it's amazing. As a wrestler, as a guy that goes out there and starts first round, it's nuts. I mean, the emotions, the highs and the lows are unlike anything else, any other stage. You know, it's a lot. I mean, everybody knows how to wrestle there, obviously. Everybody, if you make that tournament, you're good enough to place. And if you're good enough to place, you're good enough to win the whole thing. But it's how you handle and manage those emotions. It's how you can compose yourself when something doesn't go right. And it's how you can come back and show heart when, you know, odds are against you a little bit. Because in that crowd and in that arena, everybody's watching your match. And, I mean, a takedown feels like 10 points sometimes. Yeah. You know, both directions. Like, you could be down and one takedown can bring you right back in. You know what I mean? And you can be up and one takedown can be a total shock, you know? So it's one of those things where you got to be locked in, ready to go, and really good at blocking out the noise and the craziness. So it's a really fun event to win at.
Yeah, man, it's one of those things where you just got to be in the moment and live in the moment for 7 minutes. Right? You can't let all the craziness get to you. That's the one thing I learned after my first time going, my sophomore year. Grew up in PA. I actually attended the NCAA tournament in Philadelphia when I was younger as a fan. And then going there, man, I've been on some big stages that it's just a shock. You know, there's, 8 mats on the floor. And although not everyone there was watching your mat, you look up and you circle around the arena, you feel like holy cow, every single eye is on me. When realistically, probably just Campbell fans and my mom and dad were watching me. You know, so it's the biggest thing of being in the moment and just focusing on 7 minutes, 7 hard minutes. There's no difference between a match that we wrestle on the door at home and a match there. It's at the end of the day, it's 7 minutes of hard wrestling.
Man, it is certainly, again, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably already a wrestling fan. But if you haven't been, fan or not, it is definitely something to put on your bucket list. Okay, guys, I'll let you go because after the break, we're bringing up one of your current Campbell wrestlers. But tell me a little bit about Gabe Hixenbaugh and his success so far this season and what he has done for you guys and the team.
Oh, man, Gabe Hixenbaugh, 5-time state champ from Alabama. He's one of the hardest working kids I've ever met, and, man, he proves it every day in the room. He's one of those guys that, you know, if I'm going to work out with that kid, I need to get my mind right because it's going to be a tough practice that day. So, but Gabe, man, he's had an awesome start this season. You know, won our last tournament at West Point, and man, he's got a ranked win against UNC, and I mean, man, the season just started and the guy's on fire. So hopefully this success is just going to keep fueling it. And man, if he keeps rolling at the pace he is, like I said, man, better watch out in March because the Hixenbaugh hammer is going to be coming down on you.
One thing I say is, man, Gabe takes wrestling as a business. He shows up to practice and he's there to work 2 hours hard, then he's out, and he's a whole different animal outside the room than he is inside the room. And he's this kid that puts in the work late night that no one sees, being his old roommate. I mean, that dude, I'd be getting ready to go to bed. He's like, oh, I'm going to run. And I wanted to go run, but I was like, dude, I've been doing this for 5 years. I need my sleep. I need my rest. And I need time to recover. I'm too old. My joints aren't up there. But
that is
he's a kid
the
that
veteran move.
Shows up,
Yep.
keeps to himself, works hard, and goes to business.
Hey, Chris Kober did a lot of hard work during his time. So did Noah Gonser. They're two of the best NCAA qualifiers and a big part of making Campbell Wrestling what it is now, giving back his coaching. Guys, thank you so much for being on.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, Gabe, coming up after the break here on Camel Call Live.
We're no etiquette experts, but biting into your McDonald's crispy chicken sandwich and ending up with a whole pickle slice dangling from your mouth isn't impolite. It's human. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hi, Campbell fans. I'm Christy Yarbrough with RE/MAX United. Thinking about buying or selling or know someone who is? Let me help you make the right moves. It's important to work with the right agent with local knowledge and cutting-edge experience. I can help ease the pains of the buying or selling process by guiding you through the steps. Whether it's connecting you with the right lender, home inspector, handyman for those undone projects, staging and prepping your home for sale, or helping you find the ideal home that fits your family's needs. Visit my website for more information at christy.remaxagent.com. Go Camels!
Step into a quality home you'll value for a lifetime, perfect for your family at every stage. Mattamy Homes focuses on what you value most, with different designs, styles, and finishes crafted to work within your budget. That's why we're ranked first in quality, value, and customer satisfaction. But we don't just build homes, we create communities with instant appeal and enduring value. See what we're building around Raleigh, places you'll be proud to call home. Visit matamyhomes.com and see for yourself.
Sure, McDonald's breakfast is good. But getting that McDonald's breakfast 2 minutes before it stops being served, that tastes even better.
Oh, welcome back to Camel Call Live from downtown Lillington. This is the place we're at every Monday night from 6:30 to 7:30. We would love to see you down here. When you are a part of the live audience here, you get a chance to win prizes, and we're going to give away two of those prizes right now. The first prize is a Camel flag. 625-710. 625-710. 625-710. All right, we're going to have a double winner here. Since no one has claimed that prize, you get the flag and your choice of a 4-pack of tickets to an upcoming Campbell home wrestling match. That is going to be for 625-712. 625-712. We're going to have to draw again. We're going to have to draw for one more here to see who gets their 4-pack of tickets. We got one? Oh, we have a winner. We have a winner of the flag and the 4-pack of tickets. So thank you very much. Every time you come down here to the county seat, you get a chance at some prizes. And speaking of prizes, someone that won the coolest trophy that I have ever seen we'll talk about. His name is Gabe Hixenbaugh. He's a redshirt junior from Alabaster, Alabama. Coming off his first ever collegiate tournament win, Gabe took first place at 133 at the Army Black Knight Invitational. He is now 5-0 on the season. and he's joining us here live. All right, Gabe, I will ask you that first. It's one of the coolest trophies I've ever seen for winning a tournament. Describe to everybody for winning the Army Black Knight Invitational what they gave you.
It was actually a really sick Army vest, and to be honest, I had no idea that that's what the trophy was until someone said, "Hey, did you guys see what they're giving out for the winners?" And I was like, "Man, that thing looks sick." I hope it's not weighted though, because I feel like Gonser was gonna make me come in and hit a workout with it the day after, but luckily it wasn't weighted.
You won that tournament. You're 5-0 on the season. What has been going so right for you this year, Gabe?
Just trusting the process. Like, we got the best coaches, the best staff in the country. We have these great facilities, and, I'm just taking advantage of my time here and, just staying track and getting ready for March.
Alabaster, Alabama. Tell me about that place.
Roll Tide, yeah. That's about all I could say about that. There's not much to it. But, it's a really small area in Alabama and a state that's not really known for wrestling. And I actually had moved there when I was 11 years old. And, man, it was the best move for me. I had the best coach I could have asked for, and all from 6th grade until graduating, and then carrying on into college. So,
how does a guy from Alabaster, Alabama, a state champion, get to Bowie's Creek, North Carolina?
Just recruiting. I had two of the best recruiters recruiting me, Scotti and Coach Colott. And, man, at first I was like, nah, I'm never going to go to that school. My eye was like on bigger schools. And then I came on my first visit, and I was pretty much sold right away. I told my dad right after my first visit, I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to end up going to this school. And he was like, yeah, let's check out a couple other schools, and just never was the same.
You've got here, you have worked hard. We talked about it a lot. There is an unbelievable amount of depth on this team. What does that do for a guy, a competitor like you, when you go into the room every day?
No, it's really good because you have these guys that got your back, that no matter who you're going with in the room, that you're going to get a good workout in. And, they're trying to get better just as much as I am, and it really puts into perspective that you can't take anything for granted because they're right behind you trying to get that spot too.
No doubt. We talked about this with the coaches, and they thought it was one of the coolest events that they've ever been to. What was that like, the Battle of Bragg?
Man, that was definitely one of the coolest things. I've been to all these national tournaments and, win state and all. All that's cool and whatnot, but that was by far the coolest thing. And, it being on Veterans Day and my dad being a veteran, it really meant a lot. And just seeing, all those guns and trucks and airplanes in that facility. It's the first wrestling event I've ever been a part of that was almost getting rained out. The whole thing was just incredible. It was like a movie. It was crazy.
You've been a part of this program for a while now. What makes this group of guys special?
Man, honestly, I think it's just, all of us are coming from, all different places, and, we're not scared to go through the fire together. And from my first year until now, from anywhere from the coaching staff to the whole team, it just looks so much different. And, just having each other to lean on, and, just this brotherhood that we've built with alumni, and, just how much we do with, Campbell and the people that stand by Campbell, we just know that it's a brotherhood and that we got each other's backs.
We talked about the alumni being such a big part of this program. What is it like for you, a guy who's currently in the thick of it right now with all the alumni support?
No, it's really cool. Like, this past Orange and Black, we had alumni matches, and actually Chris Cover wrestled in it. And unfortunately, he lost. But no, it's really cool to have these guys, still around. And they're always around. Like, they just come into the room and watch us practice. And it's really cool to see these guys and see that they care about Campbell as much as we care about them. So,
you guys have been put up against some of the best wrestling programs in the country already in this preseason. What is it like having a non-conference slate that your coaching staff puts together that's so challenging?
This is what we wanted. We want to wrestle the best, so we know what to expect. And I think I can speak for the whole team. We're just as we're super pumped to wrestle these guys, and no one's coming off the mat saying, oh, man, they're just so much better than us. I can recall 3 conversations I've had with people that either had a close win or a close loss, and they were like, man, I'm right there with the top 5 guys. Just one exchange, and I could have won that match. And, just us knowing that we're right there, I think it's going to do a lot for us come the end of the year.
UVA coming in to your place, your home here at Gore Arena this weekend. What does that mean to have an ACC team come to Gore Arena?
I'm excited for it. It's our first home duel, and people look on the SoCon as being a weak conference, but I mean, we'll see come this Sunday. But I think we're going to take them out.
Gabe, finally, since academics is such a big part of the culture at Campbell Wrestling, and a big part of it, tell me about your major and what life after wrestling you've got lined up.
So right now I'm a cybersecurity major, and right now I haven't exactly decided what I want to do after I graduate, but we'll see. I know I love coaching. I coach now. I coach youth kids at home. I coach the high school kids when I'm home over summer, so I'd like to get into coaching, but we'll have to see. Whatever opportunity I'm given. Is
cybersecurity as hard / as fun as I think it is as a major?
Yeah, I would say so. It's pretty fun. It's definitely a lot of work, a lot of studying. It's new things every day, but yeah, it's pretty fun. It's pretty cool stuff.
He is Gabe Hixenbaugh. He is undefeated. He is the owner of an Army vest now after taking first place at the Army Black Knight Invitational 133. Gabe, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, one more segment. We'll bring the head coach back out as we end our wrestling takeover. Camel Call Live coming up after the break.
Since 2019, the Fighting Camel Club has funded more than a half-dozen championship-level facility projects. This fall, your Fighting Camel Club donations will fund several new projects, including a new Gore Arena sports medicine facility. For more information, go to gocamels.com and click the Give button. Thanks for supporting the Fighting Camel Club.
Hi Campbell fans, I'm Christy Yarbrough with RE/MAX United. Thinking about buying or selling or know someone who is? Let me help you make the right moves. It's important to work with the right agent with local knowledge and cutting-edge experience. I can help ease the pains of the buying or selling process by guiding you through the steps. Whether it's connecting you with the right lender, home inspector, handyman for those undone projects, staging and prepping your home for sale, or helping you find the ideal home that fits your family's needs. Visit my website for more information at christy.remaxagent.com. Go Camels!
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
Better ingredients, better pizza, better brace yourself because Papa John's has done it again. Introducing Papa Bowls. No crust, just a whole bunch of those Papa John's toppings you love, baked to piping hot perfection. I'm talking crisp veggies, savory meats, all covered in melty cheese, and those signature sauces. Try flavors like Italian Meats Trio, Chicken Alfredo, and Garden Veggie. Or get creative and build your own. Papa John's.
Step into a quality home you'll value for a lifetime, perfect for your family at every stage. Mattamy Homes focuses on what you value most, with different designs, styles, and finishes crafted to work within your budget. That's why we're ranked first in quality, value, and customer satisfaction. But we don't just build homes, we create communities with instant appeal and enduring value. See what we're building around Raleigh, places you'll be proud to call home. Visit MattamyHomes.com and see for yourself.
Welcome back to Camel Call Live from downtown Lillington. Coach Scotti Sentes, head coach of our Campbell Fighting Camels, the back-to-back SoCon tournament champions, 3 regular season championships thrown in there as well. And I wanted to bring you back on and talk a little bit about, we've talked a lot about Campbell wrestling, but talk a little bit about your past. Now, make sure these stats are right. 4-time state championship in Florida. You were 20-13-3 in your high school career. You won your last 140 matches. All that true?
Sounds about right.
Do you remember those? Do you remember those 3 losses?
I do actually.
I figured you would remember those more than past 213. All right. Not only that, but here's the thing. So you were runner-up in the state in 8th grade as you wrestled in Florida as an 8th grader. How did some of those seniors feel about Scotti Sentes taking him down as an 8th grader in the state tournament?
Well, the guy that beat me in the finals was a senior, so I think he felt pretty good about it. Corey Bonden still from Clay High School. I'm sure he felt good about it. But no, it was a lot of fun. And in our division, we were in 1A in Florida. And so you actually had the opportunity to wrestle from 6th to 8th grade. So my brother went to Fort Myers High School. I heard that you could wrestle in middle school at Riverdale, so I transferred there my 8th grade year.
Was it your brother that got you into wrestling, or was it a family thing? Is there a wrestling tradition?
Yep. So my dad's actually part of the Florida Wrestling Coaches Hall of Fame. My brother coached wrestling up until this last year. He took an athletic director position. And so a lot of what my family has done, my brother and my dad, they work with a lot of inner city type schools. They really like to help build up the community and the kids. And so they've been, in the sport for those reasons, to kind of give those kids opportunities and send them to college and get them an education and get their life in order. And so it's been a family affair. I mean, I remember growing up, and I mean, we didn't go on vacations. Our vacations was every Saturday we'd load up in the vans and we'd drive somewhere cool and wrestle in a tournament and maybe stop at the mall or something on the way back.
What do you love about coaching?
Man, I mean, there's just so much that you learn from the sport of wrestling. Always give your best. Never give up. No matter how tough things get, you keep going. And those are things I think really help in life. Having a kid now, having a kid in college. These things that I learned in the sport have really helped me endure and live a great life as a husband and a father and these are things that I like to kind of give to my guys.
After your high school career, a guy from Florida goes all the way to Central Michigan. Of course, it's a fantastic wrestling program, but the temperature change had to be something to get used to. How does a guy from Florida get all the way up there?
So my whole family's actually from Michigan.
Okay.
And so I didn't know much about Division I wrestling.
Yeah.
We moved to Florida when I was just a baby, but my dad's really big into the sport, and he's always followed Central Michigan, who, they were top 10 program.
No doubt.
The year before I got there, they were top 10. They had an NCAA finalist, and they were just a small school with Tom Borelli. So, he's always been following it. He said, hey, I'm going to send you to a camp. You got to check this school out. I didn't even know who they were. It was kind of like, what I talked about Campbell. I didn't even know it was D1. And I went and checked it out, and I saw what Coach Borelli was doing. And he told me it's always warm in the wrestling room. And so I went there, and if I knew what winter was about, I might not have went.
Oh, my gosh, yeah, but you have to walk from the dorm to class and then to the wrestling room. He left out that part, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, it was terrible. I remember walking to class backwards because of the wind chill. I mean, it was I did not know what I was getting into.
You are a guy that has brought Campbell wrestling and wrestling in general to UFC Fight Pass, but that wasn't the first kind of groundbreaking innovation you have been a part of. Cal Poly, I think it was, one of your first assistant coaching spots. You put together the first wrestling match outdoors. Now everybody does it. A lot of people do it. You guys have a great event with your black and orange wrestle-off, but you were the first to put that together. How did that come about?
Yeah, I mean, we just thought it'd be cool, try to find ways to get the fans involved and to create a neat environment, and I think it's important to try to provide that for the athletes. And so kind of threw that idea out. I don't know if we were the first ever to have a match. We're definitely the first D1 dual meet that counted. And I've tried to look it up. I couldn't really find any other ones, but we just thought it'd be neat. Put a mat out there, and we were in San Luis Obispo, California, which is the central west coast, so the weather was beautiful year-round, and we said, hey, how do we showcase the beautiful weather here, and said, let's throw a mat outside, and we did it, and it worked, and I think people just – they like new and they like things being fresh, and in our sport of wrestling being such a small niche sport, you really got to find ways to think out of the box to help it continue to grow.
You're always thinking out of the box, so what's next? What do you got rattling up there for next year that we're going to be talking about?
Oh, man, I wish I could share. I don't want someone to steal my ideas. I got a lot of ideas.
He is Scotti Sentes, and finally back home as his Campbell Camels will take on Virginia out of the ACC, the first home duel of the year. It's this Sunday at 4 p.m. It'll be on ESPN+, but we would love to see you. Tickets, echocamels.com and at the gate. For Coach Sentes and the guys, I'm Chris Amar saying so long. Thanks for listening. This has been Camel Call Live.